Hey, hey y'all. Hey, how y'all doing? Some people get a kick out of that. Hey y'all. I've got some comments, man, from phone calls, man. They tell me they think that's funny. Been doing it for years. But I got a question to ask everybody out there. Before I ask you the question, I'm gonna let you know the circumstances. A lot of people out there are probably thinking, man, Limpy, you got to come up with some better content than this, because we're getting bored. Well, you're probably bored and I'm bored. And I wish I had the money to afford to buy paint. I wish I had the money to afford to buy materials to finish purchasing that LTD, my Chevy truck. I'm just gonna kind of consider it off limits unless it's improving the truck. Somebody told me they was gonna send me some. They texted me on this phone. They said they was gonna send me some gaskets so I can replace the gaskets on the truck. And then there's some people that enjoy the content of me just sharing stories of where I've been. We're just all going to have to be patient here and wait, you know. It's kind of like watching a TV series, you know. Sometimes it's got boring episodes. Sometimes it's got good episodes. Sometimes they're keeping you latched and on the edge of your seat of what's going to happen next. And then other parts are funny and other parts are serious. And I do have lots of stories to tell, but you know, they're just stories that the only thing I can do is share stories with you where I've been. And yeah, there's some funny parts to it and there's some horrific parts to them. You know, God knows, man, I flew up the devil's anus and came out as spewing out his mouth and got swallowed up by him and right back out his anus again, you know what I'm saying, so to speak. So, y'all give me some input, man. Do y'all want to hear the stories, the war stories and the trials and tribulations of my life, or would you just rather I be quiet and just wait for an opportunity to come? My wife, I'm going to have to get her up and talk to her about merchandising my channel finally, because I'm only depriving myself of funds, you know. Dan, you sent me, you live in the DFW airport, you got a short box Chevy. I've kind of shut the leaks up on my truck, you know, slowed them down a whole lot. Black pepper seems to be doing the trick on the radiator. I haven't had a chance to go buy another radiator. I've just been busy. It's kind of hard to poke everything in a schedule with me having doctor's visits on my wife's days off, and and then, you know, she's got to get rest during the day, and by the time it's time for me to wake her up, all she has is barely just enough time to get ready and go to work, you know what I mean? So that kind of limits me on where I can go. And I noticed that I shot video footage of a car show, and it's only got like 287 views. It looks like to me that, you know, people kind of like to hear me vlog, you know, of where I've been, what I've went through, or just good advice that I can offer everybody out there in general. Excuse me for a second. So yeah, the content right now is kind of pretty much at a standstill and boring unless you want to hear about stories of my past. But I get to thinking to myself, you know, is that really gonna help me out all on this channel? You know, y'all sharing all this crap that I've went through in my life, and just puts me out there and paints a picture of what a ignorant dumb, ignorant life that I've been through and didn't learn lessons through my life until I almost got killed, you know. And that's just it. That's just the way it is, you know. Somebody else told me, that called me on my phone, told me, man, you just don't understand, you know. I think it was David Hardcastle. He says, you know, because you're where you're at now, if you wouldn't have gotten hurt, you'd still be out there probably partying hard on the weekends and working hard through the week, and you probably would have never opened up this channel and tried to help people out there and give them opportunities to call you whenever they're thinking about relapsing or just in general having the courage to tell some of the stories that I've told, you know, or have the courage to offer help out there to people. If somebody needs somebody to talk to, I'll talk to them, and I've talked to quite a few people, you know. I can't say I save lives, you know. I can only say I help them out and give them that, the chain of thought, you know, that would plant a seed later on when they really get out there and find themselves at rock bottom. They might start thinking about what I've said and what I told them, you know. And that's all this channel's about, man. And I really wish I could just go out there and go over on to Florida and pick that truck up. But the guy tells me that he wants to deliver it to me personally, and I just got to be patient and wait for when the time is right for him, you know. And at the same time, I feel, you know, I feel like some guy out there on the street that's got his hand out asking everybody for change at the red lights. You know what I'm saying? I don't like being that kind of a person. I've always been the person out there that helped people, you know. And if I thought that the help that I was going to give them prolonged their misery, I didn't help them. You know what I'm saying? Unless I just, you know, a couple of times I would go by them, you know, if somebody ever come up to me and said, I'm hungry, I'd take my food stamp card out of my pocket. It's happened before. I would walk them into the store, buy some food for them, give them a hug, and they would be very grateful. But if they asked me for money, I kind of steered away from that, you know. I've even had a young lady in my past come up to me, tell me she was cold. She came up to the house that I was working in. It was a customer's house, and she says, man, she says, sir, she says, I just need a place to chill for a little while overnight because it's so cold outside and it's going to get real cold tonight. Could you give me a place to stay? And I said, no, I can't do that. This is not my place. I don't have the authority to let you do that. And I tried taking her to my house, and my wife really got mad at me. She says, how dare you bring somebody to my house and want to give them a place to stay overnight? And I had to end up taking her back out there on the street, but I gave her my coat that I had on my own back, as well as my hoodie, and told her, good luck, that's the best I can give for you. And that's just what kind of person I've always been, you know. I've always taken time to try to, somebody asks me for something, if I'm able to give it to them, I'll give it to them within reason, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I even would even harm myself, you know. Found myself like in that situation with a young lady. I told my wife, where's a coat at around here? She said, you gave the girl your coat, now you're cold. And I go, yeah, but I got some more other jackets around here, where are they at? And she says, yeah, but they're stained, they're greasy, they just make you look like a bum. And I said, I don't care, man, I need to go to work, where's the coat? She says, why don't you give him one of your old coats, you know? And I said, well, cuz I didn't think about it when I told me to get her the heck out of the house, you know. I did, you know. Well, I didn't take her in the house. I left her out in the driveway. But my whole life, you know, that I've been with my wife, she's always gotten upset with me of always helping other people out there when you're not really in the position to help people, you know. And that's how big of a heart I got. I'll help somebody and leave myself stuck out a lot of times, or go way far out of my way. Sometimes I would travel and pick up somebody, a hitchhiker, and they would just beg me and beg me and beg me and bug me and bug me and bug me. Come on, just a little further, just a little further. And I would end up taking them to where they needed to go in the long run, and then have to call my mom or relatives and say, hey, I need some gas money. And they say, well, you left here with enough gas money. What happened? And I tell them, well, this is what happened. And they would send me money, but they would say, you know, you're a fool. You're a fool to do that. And yeah, maybe I was, but I just had the heart. I have a heart for people, man. I care about people, and I don't like to watching people suffer. So I guess at this point, you know, what I'm asking y'all is, do y'all want me to keep you entertained with stupid footage of me making silly songs, or sharing with you stories of how I got all these tattoos on me, and or share stories with you about meeting people when I went to go sit out tickets? You know, do you want to hear some of the stories that I went through in there? You know, and share those other stories of people that I come across in there? Or would you rather me just cool it on the channel for a little while until I got something really interesting to talk about? Something that's really interesting, instead of just endless yammering. Yada 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 yada. You know, that's the way I kind of feel like I'm gonna end up losing some of my subs if I don't. Sometimes it's better just to not say nothing at all than to start sharing stuff that's happened in your past, because it might give everybody just the, oh my gosh, man, I can't even believe I'm even interested in this guy type of thing, or I'm just somebody that don't know where to go right now, man, and I'm doing the best I can, and that's all that I can do, is just do the best I can with what I got at the time. I love my wife, I love my son. My wife is, she's more than willing to come over here on YouTube. I tell you what would be funny, man, if I could only have this channel opened up, man, whenever she would get mad at me and start screaming at me, some of the things she would say would be funny, you know, so funny that I would just have to bite my tongue to keep from laughing, because she would say something that was so funny, and she would say, what are you laughing at? You know, because it's just the way she says things. And even people standing around me at the time and watch my wife chew my rear end off and spit it out, they told me that was just so funny, man, watching your wife just get onto you like that, and watch you you two argue back and forth, and the things that y'all said and just the way it came out, it was just funny, you know. And so one man's misery is another man's entertainment, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm going to get off here and let this go for now. This will probably be the video for the day. It's hot outside. So hot I can't even go over there and touch any metal on my truck. I need to replace the brakes on the rear end of it. And I thought about shooting a video of that. But then again, man, it's like, what's the point, you know? You know, most people out there that they want to know how to do brakes, man, they DIY, they do it, they get in there, they watch other YouTube channels. I mean, what's so special about this one? It's just another repeat of a repeat, you know. Anyway, I'm gonna get off here and let y'all go, man, and y'all give me some input, man, and tell me what you think, man. I'll let this video stay up there for a while, and I'm gonna take it easy for a little bit, man. Slow down the footage a little bit, and we'll just see what happens, man. But Dan the man with the short box Chevy and the Metroplex, man, I'm going to call you on your cell phone, or text you on the cell phone. Let's see if you still got your ears on, man. Text me. I'm ready to come see you. He wants to meet me halfway. He wants me to shoot a video of his short box Chevy and share his story with it. And I'm sure he's got a pretty interesting story, because he's let me know 2-3 times, man. He says, whenever you're ready, just let me know. So, anyway, Dan, call me, or I'll text you back here shortly, or later on, just to let you know. And, anyway, leave the comments below. Tell me what you think, people. See y'all later. Limster out.